Now with no hair. I trimmed it with scissors. Didn't sleep in the night, like always, pain the whole day. Now it suddenly went away, and yeah, I gotta admit, I was trying to watch a porno, and I got a recurring memory. Well, it's a blacked out memory of. I'm not gonna talk about that, but it disgusts me, and it's also like it's personal stuff, as far as the porn, and even like if I was with someone's personal, you know, and yeah, it's like I guess I titled it pity video. Was it really pity video? I guess it is. I saw a guy pull out on a motorcycle, so you know where I'm at. So you want to find me, and work with me, like side by side. But you don't really want to be there, just because you're up there. It's really like another thing that I only have anger issues. It's like it's happened so many times. It's like it's just like, oh, I don't care anymore. But yeah, motorcycle. Yeah, years ago I was in Brooklyn, New York. And I was walking by, and I think it was the Indian motorcycle, but it had double exhaust, and it wasn't a Harley. And I was like, that's a very cool motorcycle bike. It was like $9,000, and there was a Bonneville too, and it was like start experiencing someone, like it was a male's voice, like, hey, what are you doing? Right? And I was like, cool. And then I went to his face, like physical entities. They had a soul personality. It was very odd. It's a people probably, people. Plants, they have a certain kind of thing about them. But anyway, nevertheless, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get like $9,000. However, a job or something like that or whatever, and I'm gonna get that bike. I'll pay it off. It's like, I started, not fantasize, but I was like, yeah, imagine riding through my hand, like Brooklyn on a motorcycle like that, like there was motorcycles, not too many, That was after my fat tire bike. I should have had like an epiphany, like just like a bit more aware. And then just like I buy it, like, oh, cool. Yeah, where is it? Hey, come on. Like we don't want you to have it or something like that. Or like I made somebody upset, somebody mad or something, But yeah, that's kind of my hand for you. I lost a lot of bicycles. Some were just like, they weren't rideable. Like actually, that one they didn't steal the back tires. It was going like 5 miles an hour. I put a lot of effort. I was like, well, at least I'm gonna be stronger. I had to laugh at myself. But yeah, that dreams, just aspirations, just faded away. And then I started thinking, well, it burns gasoline and electric. It's like, I guess you want to make that sound. It's not the purest of forms, so I stuck with bicycles, not a tricycle too. But yeah, it's like everything was just taken away. And so was Serenity. Yeah, I wouldn't think I would get so hurt. When it first happened, I already talked about it. I was at ShopRite, and I experienced this wave of sadness. And I immediately, it was my imagination, like Junior popped in my mind, and it was just like, it's been like almost a year, and I can't believe I'm still depressed. I'm crying. I'm still saddened over her, but it was, I went over there in that sanctuary, and she was gone, and I was just like, no, she can't be. I mean, she would have ran to me when I called her. Well, I gotta get these other cats some food, and I just asked some questions, and I was anxious, no answers, this and that thing. And then I saw the next day, and this is when ESP people read minds, and they're one step ahead of me or anything. The other cat was gone. It was a small cat. I never gave him a name, and it was he needed medical care, and he just vanished. And I don't know if someone said they took him. Later said they probably did. The other woman. So it was just like it really hurt me, and I figured out. Anyone I got close to. There's evil people in a sanctuary, in ESP. I got threatened, Not just me, but like the kids or the cats. And actually, one adult cat later, he was dead. He was dead on the side, and I looked him over. No, vicious marks or anything like that. Who knows how he died, And that cat, he was the father of many of the kids, and him and his partner, she was adorable. She was beautiful. They were very friendly. I spent many nights, well, a few nights, I would give him food, and he would come and watch. And he was like disciplining the other kids, you know. He would always like it was like a you could see like my mother. She always says it's like humans. I'm like, yeah, it's like humans. So it's like giraffes. It's like elephants. It's just like, no, but she had a point. It's like they have certain behavior. They have their personality, souls, even their psychology. And he would like bump her like in a sign of affection, and she would just, oh, stop it. And she would just once in a while she would get back, or she was upset or something like that. He would just like walk away, like, all right, like he wasn't being mean. He was masculine, but he wasn't like hurting her or the kids. Big cat too. Strong and like athletic and very compassionate. And yeah, we spent a couple nights, and one thing, when I remember, I told him, thank you for having me here. All the kids, that they would just, they would sit around, and I noticed he would eat last. The mother, she was hungry, and she would eat too. She would go from bowl to bowl, because I had multiple bowls, and he would like, a lot of times eat last. He let the kids eat, and then he would like get closer, get something to eat, So he was strong in that, and he wanted them to have food first, and it was a good moment. And I said it's nice to hang out with your family. Thank you. And I remember, I don't know, I'm tearing up. It's just I did Uber Eats. I was like, oh yeah, I still have the Uber app. Well, let me just do it tonight and get a couple dollars. I mean, like $15. I think McDonald's was right there by Southwood Avenue. So anyone knows that place, not Northwood Avenue, you can't be caught up in there. It's the other way around. It was a running joke, and from the McDonald's, I did like 3 trips, or like 2 trips, at least 3 trips. A couple dollars, but ended up with tips. And I was like, yes, Target isn't, it wasn't even 10 o'clock or 9 or something. So I was like, yes. I went and I got multiple of these Frisky cans. And yeah, I don't know if they were hungry that night, or that actually, they ate, but not as much. And I started thinking, why don't I get them natural food? And I started buying like salmon from Aldi, and like salmon, tuna I didn't like too much. Avocado I experimented with. I made some potatoes and rice. The geese, they like the rice. And then things just were what they were. I couldn't concentrate to actually do anything. Here, Virginia, it's bad for me. Like I get physical ailments. And a lot of times I don't feel it. Even when I was working, block by block, I start experiencing like I couldn't have any strength or something like that, and I did. So but I finished the day over there. It was just, I don't know, I couldn't concentrate. People were just messing me too much, and anger tantrums, I would speak out loud, just couldn't take it. Just couldn't take it. To the point it got, it was winter, and I could barely do what I wanted to do. I did the small things, like I did build a pine shelter, like I called it, I dug out, and I put wood and like lumber around. I put pines and needles and all that, but 2 of them settled. Then it wasn't just the best time. It wasn't the best time, and that was after Serenity was gone. And I was like, I have to do is stick around because they need a shelter, and then they had styrofoam, this and the other thing, but it just wasn't the best. And maybe it is, but I wanted Serenity to be there, And that motorcycle, it is what it is. And then I started thinking of a Range Rover from the Defender, but remade. And I found a place in Brooklyn, New York. And I was walking around. It was like December, probably December. I remember it was a warm day. I was walking around. I think I had a shower yesterday, so I felt really good. This and that thing, and I was like, yeah, like 60, 70, 65,000. I'm like, yeah. Oh, I'm definitely gonna get that. I'm buying one of those. Couldn't even scrape a dime on a nickel, like they say, I mean, where are you gonna go to work? Where are you gonna work? A lot of times in my life, in my 20s, I felt like, what's the point of even going somewhere, getting trained, like, starting from the ground up, when it's just helplessness, and like, it's never gonna get me anywhere, especially, I might lose a job, people might be that, this and that thing, it's pointless, it's like a waste of time, but then I'm reminded, any job I go to, it's like something new to figure out. Even if you start at the bottom, it's just a feeling I have of like not just helplessness, like anger and like lack of success. Like you can't have it, even though you can, but we're not we don't allow you. You know, you can't do this and you can't do that, and you're this and you're that. We're not this and the other thing. A lot of times not in my face. Although gay at well, it's an Amtech job. Yeah, I got called gay. Well, it was like you would think that guy is like dressed pretty neatly, like to a physical job, and it was something random. Like I had like that's a obsessive compulsive disorder, but I would check the back door, even though after I locked it, I was just very, very worried, very, very worried. And he's like, "Oh, you're so gay for that," and like, it was just it didn't really bother me too much. I'm like, "How old are you, kid? Huh? Really?" Also, I've been through this, except I couldn't even stand up for myself. I went through that. What happened in my life, multiple traumas, and I couldn't even open up. Right now, it would be a different story. I wouldn't be angry, and I would just ridicule, mock him, or like laugh it off, or like this and the other thing. And then I point out to what that guy was, just like forgetting, in the first week, forgetting to fuel. It was that same day when we backtracked to New Jersey, and we ran out of gas. Good thing there was a gas station like half a mile away, and the truck would shut off and he got there. He started laughing at it. I'm like, what the fuck is so funny, man? Like how you treat everything so carelessly, recklessly, like like it's meaningless. Don't take anything seriously, that guy. I mean, sometimes, a lot of times, I take things too seriously, or just seriously enough. I mean, that's the world. That's the world we live in. Yeah, this is just like not a painting video, but it's like yeah. It's not even a motorcycle, not even a bicycle. It's pretty much anything that I enjoy. That's nice. It's like some people like covetousness. Like they want that because you have it, but they don't like it. I experienced that multiple times in my life. They'll take it from you. They'll take your fat tire bike with a 26-inch 4 wide tires, even though they can't ride. It's too big for them. They don't know how to ride. It's too small. It rides too slow. They can't do that. But they'll take it from you because you like it so much. And then who knows? When people see or they fucking experience when you're riding a bike, then suddenly they watch it or they experience it, and that's fucking why you gotta pretend you're miserable or something if you're a fucking hater and shit, huh? So it's just well, at least the flies, wing sentience or sentience of the flight are still here. Although one died a while ago. That's why I started dumping water, not too deep water. Maybe it was an accident or something like that. I don't know. The way things are, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure that's the one I got close to, and and some of them just experience a lot of stress and frustration, especially when I'm doing something and someone else chimes in about something, especially about somebody else. Like they try to talk to about somebody else and they're using this speak telepathic form, and that's when a lot of flies just start acting out, and I have to calm them down. I'm just going off on a tangent again in a long video. This and the other thing. It's too disheartening to anything. And yeah, I saw so much, not just trauma, but people are absolutely absurd. The deviancy they possess, what they are, it's unbelievable, unbearable. Yeah, and I didn't really have a good life. Even through all the abuses, trauma, all the fear tactics, I still muster like something, because there's something joy that just fucking want to take it from you, just like the fucking hate on you, or like, this and the other thing, or like, you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna do, you don't do, I do, I do, you don't do. It's like, can you like express yourself in a more developed sentence? Not that I want you to, like I'm doing something right now, I don't want you to know that you do too. By mocking their own people, they mean well. Yeah, yeah, even the garden in Jersey, it fell apart. I couldn't concentrate. People just talking nonstop what I was doing, especially water, because they wanted to see. It just got to the point where, like, it's like I watered the plants. I was like, did I even water? I mean, like, it's like I didn't fully enjoy it. Everything else. So yeah, it's just it's pretty big because anger issues, and it's like it's not even sorrow I have. I miss Serenity. I really